Love that feeling.
Love it. Crave it. Need it. Gotta have a gun grip in your hand. Hands!
Always wanted to be an Army Ranger parachuting behind enemy lines. Ever since I could hold a
Cap gun, water gun, air gun, pop gun, BB gun.
12 gauge.
22. 38. 45.
A gun makes you feel alive.
Respect.
Watch out.
Move aside.
Nobody can touch you.
When you have a gun.
Nobody mocks you.
When you have a gun.
You can take on anybody.
When you have a gun.
People look at you like a VIP.
Can a play make a difference in Chicago's epidemic of gun violence? The folks at Epworth United Methodist Church in the Edgewater neighborhood think so. Their Theater on the Edge is launching its first production, Bang Bang You're Dead, running August 28th through 30th. Let's welcome Epworth's pastor, the Reverend Carol Hill. So tell us a little bit about Epworth, Carol.
Sure. Epworth is located on the north side of the city of Chicago, and it's been a church that has always been committed to trying to meet the needs of the community around us and be a vital part of the community, a place where people come and are lifted up and sent out to their craziness of their everyday lives better because of their time together.
Okay, and what's the connection? Why do you think theater will be an important ministry for Epworth?
We try to remain relevant in the people's lives, and theater is a way for our community of all ages to gather together and engage in some significant conversations and topics that are very serious, but in a way to be apart from the mix of that. So, for example, for Bang Bang You're Dead, to be able to talk about violence, something that is a reality on our streets every day, but yet be able to kind of step back just a little bit to create some objectivity.
Okay. People might not think of that neighborhood as being a place where violence is a big deal. It is actually present near your church.
In August of 2014, there was a young man who was shot and killed on just across the street, literally from our church.
Okay, so it is
violence is present all around the city of Chicago, and it's not possible to siphon off, well, this neighborhood doesn't experience any violence, because even if there's only one shooting in a 6-month period of time, everyone has cousins and neighbors or a grandma who on a different part of the city has just witnessed increased violence. And you can't say if violence affects one part of the city, it doesn't matter or doesn't impact the north side or the west side or the south side. We're all a part of the same system.
It's all Chicago.
For sure.
Now, why do we call the theater, or why do you call the theater on the Edge?
Certainly, it was inspired by being in Edgewater.
Okay.
So our location is part of that. But also being a theater that's not just a place where you just come and can zone out for a while, but a place that being on the edge, being theater on the edge, you're being pushed to think and to really analyze where are you in your life with this issue. We want theater to be a form of entertainment for sure, but also a place where we are addressing social justice in a very real way.
And certainly this is a big topic. Bang Bang You're Dead is your first production. Can you tell us a little bit about what it's about?
So it addresses gun violence in the schools. So it's not talking about murder or gang violence even on the street. It is addressing school shootings. And you get sort of the inside view into the person who committed the act of violence, as well as the impact on the victims. And it has teenage actors,
all right,
which means that the audience is sort of confronted with the reality of teenage death. Mm-hmm. But also, as we invite younger audience members, their own mortality is sort of really in their face.
What do you hope happens for that audience, in addition to just watching the play?
Hopefully, they will be able to think through what the impact of gun laws has in their lives. Mm-hmm. What a seemingly insignificant act of, I'm just going to buy a gun to keep my family safe, and I'm going to keep it locked up, and so it seems harmless. Hopefully, what might seem harmless can get unpacked a little bit as the reality of danger, mm-hmm, of having an automatic weapon is, and the very real catastrophe that is caused by such weapons.
And that are caused all the time.
All of the time.
Some people might say that putting on a play isn't really going to do anything about gun violence. How would you respond to that?
That's certainly a possibility. However, a play that then increases the conversation. I think it's the conversation and what happens after the play that can put an end to gun violence. It's people making a stand. It's sitting around the dinner table with your family members and saying, what did you think? And have you thought about that before? And the kids at school talking to their friends at school about this show that they saw at their church this weekend. It's the conversation and the ripples that may have just been started by that one little drop, but that can continue and can actually make a difference.
Okay. I can imagine that the rehearsal conversations might be pretty powerful too with the people that are actually performing.
Absolutely.
Do you have any idea what might follow Bang Bang You're Dead for the Theater on the Edge?
I don't know specifically. I know that we are committed to continuing to have shows, ideally having 2 shows a year, one in the spring and one in the fall.
Okay.
And continuing to address social justice issues, whether that's full rights for lesbian and gay, bisexual, transgender community, or continuing to consider violence or even mass incarceration. We'll find ways to address those issues that are so poignant and real for our community at large.
Can you say more about theater as a way to engage young people in the church community?
Absolutely. Our younger audience members, or our younger people in the community from even upper elementary school, early elementary school for that matter, and high schoolers are drawn to coming and seeing a play or theater that is entertaining to them. They might come because their friends are going to go, or they might have a date to go. It's sort of an outlet, something that they could go to, and while they're there, they look around and think, wow, this is cool. It's nice to be here in this place. I feel safe. I feel comfortable. I can be myself. Also, then to address a real issue like gun violence, that this is a place where they can come and talk about some issues that they are wondering about, that they're thinking about, but aren't quite sure where to start. We can be a starting point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sounds like you're certainly making church very relevant.
We
so
try.
if people want to see this production, what are some ways they might find tickets? Or
Sure, we will have our tickets available through a website, and those can be accessed at our Epworth website, which is www.epworthchicago.com.
That sounds terrific. I hope to be able to attend myself.
I hope you will.
Thank you. Thank you for being here today, Pastor Carol.
Sure.
I'm Polly Toner for Different Drummers in the Greater Chicago Broadcast Ministries. Keep the faith.